Facebook, are you ready? Apple, are you ready? Let's get it on! How's it going, everybody? This is Dave LeClaire with Make Use of Tech Bytes. Welcome to another episode. Let's hop in and look at the biggest tech news stories from the last couple days. So why don't you kick your feet up, recline your chair, and let's go look at that news. So kicking things off, two companies that are known for making expensive things are coming together to make some expensive things. Turtle Beach and Oakley are coming together to make some gaming glasses. And when you hear Turtle Beach and Oakley coming together to make gaming glasses, you think there might be some sound built into the glasses. But actually what it is they are Oakley glasses with Turtle Beach branding that are designed specifically to fit comfortably under Turtle Beach headsets without squeezing on the side of your head. There are two models available. The first one is called the Metalink and it retails for $219. And with that one, you can use prescription lenses. So if you're like me and you can't see more than 5 feet in front of you, you can put some prescription lenses in there and you can still get the benefits offered by the glasses, like the comfort and the look and the style and whatever gaming performance you actually get from gaming glasses. The jury's still out on that. And you don't have to worry about being blind. If you don't need prescription lenses, you can get the Frog Skin Light. They still offer the benefits offered by gaming lenses, and they still fit well with Turtle Beach headsets. They just don't accept prescription lenses, but they're also $166, so there's a pretty big difference in price between the two. These new glasses are available now, so if they sound like something that's of interest to you, you can go out and get them, and I can't promise that you'll be a better gamer, but I also can't promise that you'll be a worse gamer. Moving right along, Microsoft is finally releasing a new update for the Surface Duo. The company has not put out an update since November of 2020, which made us a little worried that perhaps they forgot about the phone. But it turns out they didn't. They have released an update that fixes two of the major problems that the device has. The first one, it improves the device's UI stability, which means the phone should crash less. Generally, when you spend a lot of money on a phone, especially a high-tech dual-screen phone, you probably don't want it to crash. Well, with this update, that will happen less frequently, and that's always a good thing. The other update improves touch stability, which, as you might expect, that improves the way the phone functions with the touchscreen. Obviously, this is a touchscreen-based phone. It is the way you interact with the phone, and you would probably like that to work correctly. Now, with this update, again, it'll work better. It adds some smaller things like security improvements and all that kind of stuff, but it's the two big things that really make this update exciting. If you're a Surface Duo owner, download this update as soon as you can because it will make your phone run a lot better. If you're a tab hoarder, Google Chrome has a new feature coming that you're gonna love. Basically, it's getting a read later tab management tool, which allows you to take a piece of content that you are enjoying having sit there in your browser window as a tab, just taking up space, and save it for later. Get rid of the tab and read it on your time. It will not take up a bookmark, it will not take up a tab space, and you can keep your browser looking much cleaner and much prettier. So in a way, it works a lot like a service like Pocket. With Pocket, you save stuff to read later, you go back and you read it on your time. This works a lot like that, but it's built right into the browser, which makes it a little bit more convenient. You don't need an extension or any third-party software. Instead, you just run your browser as you normally would, and boom, you can save stuff for later. Now, this is only available currently in the Canary build of Chrome, which is the nightly build. So it's quite unstable if you want to try it out now. The fact that it's there means it should be coming to the full release version of the browser, probably with the next major update. So if you don't want to run the Canary version, you'll have to wait a little bit longer, but it's nice to know that the feature is in the works. When you think of Facebook, you probably think its primary competitor is something like Twitter, maybe LinkedIn. Another social network is probably who you would think Facebook would want to have a battle with for supremacy. But turns out Zuckerberg thinks that Facebook's biggest competitor is actually Apple. The reason this came up is because of Apple's new privacy protection measures, which obviously affect a company like Facebook, whose whole business model is getting data on its users. Zuckerberg actually said, Apple may say they're doing this to help people, but the moves clearly track with their competitive interests. So basically what he's saying is that he doesn't think that Apple is doing all of this data protection stuff because it wants to help you. It's doing it because it wants to hurt its competitors. The fight may actually come sooner than you think though, because apparently there's a report out there that Facebook is readying a lawsuit against Apple for these measures. If this happens, this could bring the fight right to our doorsteps because these two big juggernauts are going to go head-to-head in court. Tim Cook actually gave a speech at the European Union Data Protection Conference on January 28th, and he had a lot of interesting things to say on security and data. He said, if we accept as normal and unavoidable that everything in our lives can be aggregated and sold, we lose much more than data. We lose the freedom to be human. That's some pretty lofty words right there, but if you really think about it, he's not wrong. Your data is you. That is your internet presence. That is who you are. And by just allowing companies to take it and sell it and do what they want with it, you are kind of giving up part of what makes you you. Now, what I want to know from you guys is, do you see this as the pot calling the kettle black? Is Apple have any right to talk about privacy invasions, or do you think that Apple is just as bad as Facebook in this? Will the two companies fight this out only to realize that they're both in the wrong here? We'll have to wait and see, but it is interesting to see how Apple and Facebook are going head to head, as you wouldn't think they're two companies who would be necessarily considered competitors, but rather companies that kind of can work side by side as they offer features that enhance each other's products. You need to use a computer or a phone to access Facebook. And Facebook is an app that people use on their phone all the time, which Apple then is getting people to use their devices. So it seems like they should have a harmonious relationship, but it doesn't sound like that's going to be the case for much longer. And with that, thank you so much for watching this episode of Make Use of Tech Bytes. It has been a joy to hang out with you on this Friday afternoon. Make sure to like this video, make sure to subscribe to Make Use of YouTube channel, and maybe even share it if you're feeling generous. And we will see you guys in the next video.